Welcome to episode 159 of the weekly Shared Security Show. And joining me this week is co-host Kevin Open Source Johnson. Welcome to the show, Kevin.
There's this moment of dread every time you get to my first name because I know something is coming. Open Source Johnson is not that bad.
Nice.
Yeah, that one I'm not. Yeah. There is this like, what's he about to say?
How you doing, Kevin?
Open Source Johnson. Well, my DNA is at 23andMe, so they could decide to open.
Well, there you go.
I guess. Yeah, doing pretty good. I found out the problem with not getting a spare tire with your car this weekend. Yeah, my car does not have a spare, and I got a flat.
Yeah, and if you don't have a spare, you got to call somebody. All right,
middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
middle of nowhere.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, so finally got the car back yesterday.
Good.
With tires. So
that's even better.
even better. There's 4 tires and they all work.
Yes. So this week I have 2 very interesting topics to discuss that will, of course, enrage Kevin, and always fun to get his opinion on these things or not.
That's it. Do you remember the game Rampage?
Yes, I loved Rampage as a kid.
So did I. I'm the werewolf. That's the only thing. Okay. You're not, I think I just announced I'm a furry. But
well, that's really disturbing, Kevin.
Yeah. So, okay, your topics.
Well, so the first being just some of the comments I think Apple CEO Tim Cook made at a conference during International Privacy Day, which I believe was last week. This was regarding, I think, his response to Facebook, which happened to take out a full-page ad bashing Apple's new privacy changes that are coming out around apps in the App Store. I think we've talked about that on the show before. But his comments were interesting to me because they were about personal data, conspiracy theories, and disinformation. And I think it's led some people to think that, is this now Tim basically saying that we're going to be removing Facebook from the App Store soon because we don't agree with the way Facebook is handling things. So that's our first topic. And then our second story is going to be about the US government saying that we have some type of moral imperative to develop AI weapons, claiming that AI will make fewer mistakes than humans and will, of course, lead to reduced casualties. All I got to say about that is, has anyone in the government watched the Terminator movies?
I ask if anybody in the government has an Alexa.
AI powered weapon. I know, right? That's crazy. So anyway, so this story about Tim Cook. I did want to start out and just mention a couple quotes from his talk, which I think maybe to start the conversation, which I actually found were kind of interesting. So first, she says, technology does not need vast troves of personal data stitched together through dozens of websites and apps in order to succeed. Advertising existed and thrived for decades without it, right? And we're here today because the path of least resistance is rarely the path of wisdom. Yep. Another quote was, in a moment of rampant disinformation and conspiracy theories juiced by algorithms, we can no longer turn a blind eye to a theory of technology that says all engagement is good engagement, the longer the better, and all with the goal of collecting as much data as possible. Okay, now the last one, which I thought was most interesting, was what are the consequences of prioritizing conspiracy theories and violent incitement simply because of the high rates of engagement? So there you go.
So I want to laugh that anything coming out of Apple is good with relates to privacy, and I think of some quotes about glass houses, or the log in your own eye. Maybe that's inappropriate. Yeah, wasn't it Apple that just recently pushed forward a change that they then backed down on, that their apps could bypass firewalls and monitoring on an Apple
so.
machine.
Yeah,
definitely. Tim Cook is absolutely who we should look for privacy and security. but I think he's got a point, right?
He does.
This is one of those things I always stress about, because I actually like getting personalized ads. I think I'm the only person in the world.
You may be the only person in the world. Yeah.
I don't like ads. And so getting an ad that's actually relevant to me, which doesn't happen very often, is kind of nice, right?
And you've purchased things based on personalized ads, right?
I absolutely heck. I've bought things from Facebook ads. I'm that guy. I absolutely have purchased things with personalized ads. I've absolutely I prefer, if I'm going to see ads, I prefer to see ads that are related to what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
So I like that. But I absolutely see the problem, right? And I don't think this is the end of Facebook, right? Like, oh, it's the end of Facebook. No, it's not. If Tim Cook actually cares about the privacy of people and absolutely cares that we should not be tracked, then show me with actions, right? Show me by actually blocking the malware that's in the App Store. And I don't mean malware from a perspective of it, it's the traditional, but I was just reading a thread, I think it was yesterday, about a game developer who is working very hard to push his game. He built a game, right? And he's failing because he was doing very well. And then all of a sudden, maybe it wasn't a game, some developer, all of a sudden scam apps have come out. And it's not that the app is a scam as in it steals stuff. It's a scam because it doesn't do what it says it does. And there's a whole bunch of fake reviews, right? Like the app premieres on the App Store with 1,000 5-star reviews talking about how great it is. And the descriptions are obviously made up from either other reviews that have nothing to do with the app or whatever. If Tim Cook actually cares about that kind of stuff, show me that by changing the quagmire that is the Apple App Store. But Apple is not going to get rid of Facebook. Apple is not going to change. They may, and I like the idea of the tracking transparency. You and I have talked for years, publicly and privately, about the sheer amount of crud you get tracking wise. And I like that. But I think this story is completely overblown, because I think what we've done is everybody's reading into what it could mean, but it's just a guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's about, I think, because of the way that Facebook shares conspiracy theories and disinformation. I mean, that's proven, right?
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
many examples of that, not just the election, but even before that, right? And so it's the algorithms again that are doing this by design, right? Something that's popular, QAnon, whatever the hell that is, it just spreads and it goes viral. And that's what Facebook was designed to do, was to take a topic and spread that across its user base so they can get ad clicks on personalized ads.
And I think that there's goodness that comes out of that, right? I absolutely think that it's good that we have this platform where we can post something and get interaction and engagement. And I agree with the quote that not all engagement is good engagement.
Yes.
But we do get good engagement. We do share stuff out there, right? The problem is, and it's a problem that I think that I'm smart enough to know the answer, but I'm not. Is there's no way to scale the human ability to rule out crud. And I don't mean mobs. I don't mean, right?
Yeah.
But you put smart people in front of a screen and they know what is good and what is bad. They can look at something and say, and not to talk about a personal thing, but like I just got banned from Twitter because the algorithm could not tell that my comment about not needing a vaccine because I had a 5G phone was sarcasm. Right? Like, I thought it was hilarious. I'll be honest. I giggled for about half an hour before I posted it because I thought it was so funny, and the algorithm blocked it. Right?
Yep.
The algorithm didn't block it because I'm a bad person or that it knows that. It blocked it because it has no way to know that that was a joke.
Yep.
So
just like I got banned from YouTube. Very similar.
Yeah. Exactly. We're not going to fix algorithms.
No.
And maybe it does tie into the next topic about the moral imperative, right? Of fixing stuff. The only thing that I caution is way too often we do something because something has to be done, not because we're doing something that helps, right? How many times you hear something? Well, the government should do something. Well, what should they do? I don't know, but they should do something. No. I worry that Apple is going to do something instead of doing something helpful, right? That last word I think is so critical.
We have to keep in mind that Apple is a business.
Yep.
They are making money. So, you could take the high and mighty, we're the, advocacies for privacy and all these things. But at the end of the day, they're a business making money. They're a lifestyle company, right? Yep. So they want to sell you an iPhone. Keep that in mind.
And let's be clear, many of the things they're doing are because they're competing with another company,
of course,
that is just as big. I mean, they talk about the app tracking transparency. The immediate question is, how is Google going to handle that? Right?
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Google makes a competing operating system for mobile devices, and there's so many intertwined pieces to this. I think any information we can get about what our apps do is good. I also realize that the vast majority of people don't care.
We've talked about
and because they don't care, it's not going to impact things.
That's right.
So that's my opinion.
And now a quick word from our sponsors. Given the state of the world that we are currently living in, your digital privacy, cybersecurity, and health is more important than ever. That's why I recommend the use of a Faraday sleeve for your laptop, smartphone, and key fob. And if you want the best Faraday products on the market, you need Silent Pocket. And because you listen to this podcast, you can take 10% off your order right now during checkout at silentpocket.com by using discount code SharedSecurity.
Is your team starting to show signs of fatigue from traditional security awareness compliance training, or from phishing assessments that target them for those teachable moments? As we've seen in recent news, these kinds of training are having a negative impact on corporate culture, and they're really not all that effective. So there has to be a better way. ClickArmor is the first gamified learning platform that helps build a self-defending team through engaging learning challenges and exercises. Its unique lesson templates, built with proven gamification techniques, let people learn and exercise important defensive concepts in a safe and fun environment. Whether you need to quickly deploy a training solution that gets people to stop clicking on things immediately, or you've got your own boring content that needs to be put into a more interesting user experience, ClickArmor can help. So go to clickarmor.ca/sharedsecurity to learn how to build a self-defending team.
Well, so what do you think about AI-powered weapons? I'm also fascinated. You mentioned Google. This government panel was led by former Google exec Eric Schmidt.
Yeah, I think we have to dig past the headline, right? And the reason is, like, when you sent the article, I don't know if embarrassed is the right word. When you sent the link to me to say, "Hey, here's the topic," it's the first time I'd heard this. I had not. Yeah. I guess I missed.
That's why I picked up on it.
Yeah, well, exactly, because I missed it. You're better at that than I am. But I hadn't seen it, and my first thought was moral imperative to create weapons. What the heck? And then I read into the article, and it's talking about, well, the reason they want AI weapons is like to not shoot the wrong person or not right. Like it's like, oh, okay, I get it a little. Like I that's deeper than man, we need the best weapons out there, which is how the headline made me think about it. For one, I think AI machine learning, augmented reality, and I know those are different, but they're related topics. I think those are all good things. I bow to our robot overlords, right? Like I want it in writing as many places as possible that when the robots take over, I'm a supporter, right? Like I will be the sympathizer. I'll be the one saying, no, the revolution, they're over there, get them. But so I like the idea behind AI powered weapons, but I think it has the same problem. And I don't mean to bring up a topic that pisses off 50% of the people that hear it. It's the same idea of smart guns, right? Like was it New Jersey passed a law that said that the minute a smart gun is available, it's going to be required that that's the only type of gun that'll be allowed to be sold in New Jersey.
Yeah. What do you mean by smart gun? Just
no. There is no. What do you mean by it? Because that's the definition they came up with, right? Smart guns. So I like, but like in that case, it was like that the gun can only be used by a certain person.
Oh, right. Like you see on TV movies and things.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And AI weapons is just the next step of that, in my opinion, right? I think that the problem is ignoring my immediate distrust of anything the government says. Like the minute you say to me, a government panel thinks this is a good idea, I'm against it. Right? Like, totally. It doesn't matter what it is. If a government panel said Kevin should be the ruler of the world, I'd be like, no, he shouldn't. Absolutely not. Ignoring that, I think that the idea makes sense, but we're so far away from the idea that a legitimate working AI exists, then we're wrong. And I'm going to say something totally inappropriate right now. AI doesn't really exist. So what they mean is they want a machine learning to drive weapons.
Yeah.
Right. And we've already shown that machine learning doesn't identify minority faces in cameras and stuff like that.
Talked about in the show.
So basically what you're saying is you are, not you, Tom, you, the government panel, you are proposing that the government should build weapons that doesn't recognize minorities. Like, that's what you're saying. Yeah. And yeah, it's not what they mean. Yeah, it's not what, but machine learning can't handle this kind of stuff yet. Right. I'm concerned about machine learning telling me that that's a cat or that's a dog. Nevertheless, saying that's a cat, shoot it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's very, I mean, it's disturbing when you think about the ramifications of if you get that wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Like, just watch the Terminator movies. I mean, and I know everyone laughs about Skynet. Ah, ha, ha, that's really funny, but it's actually true.
Yeah. I mean, let's be very clear. If I was an artificial intelligence, I'd look at the human race and say, no, that was a mistake.
That's why the aliens haven't shown themselves to us yet, too, by the way.
Exactly, right? Like, I'm a very firm believing Christian, and I look around at humans and go, what did God do?
What happened here?
It's bad. I don't think we should have AI weapons. I don't think we have a moral imperative. I will absolutely agree that we have a moral imperative not to shoot people that don't need to be shot. But I don't think the way to do that is AI weapons. And talk to me.
There's better use for that money, I think.
Yeah, I think absolutely. Like, okay, if we're coming up with better uses for it, get my car to drive me further than just the highways. But right, like, let's figure out a way. Let's take that money and figure out a way to. How about we have a moral imperative to help the homeless, or a moral imperative to help the unemployed, or if the government thinks they have a moral imperative for something, let's not have it be weapons.
Yeah,
that's
a great point.
And I like weapons, but don't get me wrong. Right? Yeah. But I'm still mad that they retired the A-10. So best plane in the world.
Yeah.
So
definitely. So all right, and the other thing too, I'll just mention this too. We'll have in the show notes, but there actually is a campaign run by a group that actually is called Stop Killer Robots. So for the last 8 years. So this is kind of like,
we come up with better names for things.
I know, Stop Killer Robots. I love this article too. They actually show a robot with a sticker that says "Stop Killer Robots." So
yeah, I like it, but dang,
yes,
I don't know.
All right. Oh, and the last thing, I want to give you a shout out for your upcoming training.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like a shout out. What did I do this
time?
time?
You should talk about that. No, actually, it got retweeted a ton before you got banned from Twitter. So it was...
Yeah. So we're trying something. We've talked about this before, that I have a heart for education, I guess. Like, I want people to learn. I want to lower the barriers of entry. I used to work for an organization that charges thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars, and we won't name Sands, but for training. And I don't think that's right. We've been doing the affordable training for a while, and I'm stealing a thing from John Strand's playbook. I even talked to him before I did it and said, I'm stealing your idea. We're rolling out a pay what... I have to think about it, because I keep saying pay as it goes, and that's not right. It's pay what you can. And we have a course, the one we're trying it out on, and if it works, we're going to expand it to all of our training. But we've got a CISSP mentorship that starts beginning of March, and it retails for $1,000. But what we've said is pay what you can. Like, if you can afford $1,000, thank you, or whatever. But it's actually gotten, we've had a number of people sign up. I'm really happy. We've had at least a few people reach out and say, look, I'm unemployed. I don't have any money. I need help. And we're giving them access to the class for free. So when we say pay what you can,
I love it.
We need it, right? Like if you can't pay anything, let us know. Yep. Now, I will say, we can't afford to have a class of 400 people that didn't pay anything. So if you can support it, please do. And then the only other thing, and I hate this, but I can't legitimately do it otherwise. There is a threshold where if you pay less than the threshold, we don't provide the books. We tell you what books you need.
Yeah, because you have to pay for your costs, obviously. Books and
exactly. And I hate that. I wish that Secure Ideas was just so ridiculously successful that we could buy books for everybody, but we can't. I can't do that and continue to pay my people their paycheck every 2 weeks. So yeah, it's we're starting it with the CISP one, and then I do want to expand it, but I need to make sure this one works before you know what I mean?
I do.
So yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's a great idea, and we will link that in our show notes, of course. So if you're interested, you can take advantage of that. So, all right, Kevin. Well, that's enough hot topics for this week. So thanks again for co-hosting the show, and we will see everyone next week. That's all for this week's show. Be sure to follow the Shared Security Show on Twitter and Instagram for the latest news and show updates. If you like this episode, please hit that like and subscribe button, and please subscribe to us on your favorite podcast listening app. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another episode of the Shared Security Show.